Hello and welcome to the Street Crime UK YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Today we look at an organised crime gang managed from prison cell by a convicted drug dealer who was jailed for a total of more than 92 years. The 20 men and 2 women were part of a Merseyside-based drugs gang led by Lee Stoba, who was already serving a lengthy jail sentence at HMP Altcourse in Liverpool for drug dealing. Mr. Stoba managed the group like a military operation from his cell, using gang members to source Class A and Class B drugs and then selling and distributing them to towns and cities across the UK, Liverpool Crown Court was told. 19 members of the gang, along with their leader, were sentenced to a total of 92 years in prison after a 9-month undercover investigation by officers from Cheshire Police's Crime Operations Unit. 2 remaining members of the gang are set to be sentenced at a later date. Detective Inspector Giles Pearce said these defendants were all members of a highly sophisticated organised crime gang who were responsible for the large supply of Class A and Class B drugs in Cheshire and further afield. To run their operation, the gang used a series of safe houses across the region, some rented in false names, to store huge quantities of drugs destined for dealers lower down the chain in Cheshire and Scotland. Their leader, Lee Stoba, truly believed that he was above the law. Despite already being behind bars for drugs offences, he believed that he could still run his criminal operations from within his prison cell. However, thanks to hard work and determination of a dedicated team of officers here at the Cheshire Police's Crime Operations Unit, Mr. Stoba and the gang he was running are all now facing the consequences of their actions. The operation was initially launched in May of 2016 when officers began to investigate a Merseyside-based crime gang who were believed to be responsible for the large supply of Class A and Class B drugs in Merseyside, Cheshire and Scotland. On February 28, 2017, after collecting evidence for more than 9 months, officers carried out a series of dawn raids at addresses in Anfield, St Helens and Wallasey, along with one address in Droitwich Spa in Worcester. The warrants led to the arrest of 10 men and 1 woman on suspicion of drug offences. Mr. Stoba, 44, was also arrested in his prison cell at HMP Altcourse. 2 weeks later, on March 14, 2017, officers conducted a second series of drug raids, this time focusing on gang members in Cheshire, targeting homes in Warrington, Ellesmere Port, Winsford, Widnes and Runcorn. When some of the gang members stood trial, evidence revealed Mr. Stoba had led the group from his prison cell using mobile phones which had been smuggled into jail to communicate with right-hand man Christopher Campbell. Mr. Stoba would dictate the orders from behind bars, managing the logistical side of the business. He would arrange for the gang to source the drugs before organising its distribution to a network of drug dens across the UK. Those who were involved and jailed were Lee Stoba, 44, from HMP Altcourse, was found guilty of drug conspiracies and received 19 years. Christopher Campbell, 42, of Arks Lane, Anfield, was found guilty of drugs conspiracies due to be sentenced the following week. Gary Jones, 34, of East Quay, Wapping Quay, found guilty of drug conspiracies and received 15 years. Ian MacDonald, 31, of HMP Altcourse, admitted drugs conspiracies and received 2 years and 3 months. Andrew O'Callaghan, 38, of Bedford Road, Walton, found guilty of drugs conspiracy and received 3 years. Sarah Holden, 22, of Priory Gardens, St Helens, who admitted drugs conspiracies, received 6 years. Jamie Brine, 37, of Mead Road, Old Swan, who admitted drugs conspiracies, received 3 years. Thomas Williams, 31, of Saxonia Road, Walton, convicted of possession of a component of a shotgun and received 16 months. Nathan Agatha, 26, of Saxonia Road, Walton, who admitted money laundering of £26,000, received 3 months. Paul Reed, 34, of Frere Street in Droitwich Spa, admitted money laundering of £20,000 and was due to be sentenced at a later date. Liam Astell, 24, of HMP Swinfall Hall, Lichfield, who pleaded guilty to drugs conspiracies, received 18 months. James Jeffries, 31, of Wenlock Road, Anfield, who admitted drugs conspiracies, received 6 years and 4 months. Sean Lloyd O'Malley, 29, of Withers Avenue, Warrington, who admitted drugs conspiracy to supply cannabis, dangerous driving and possession of an offensive weapon, and received 3 years. Stephen Nelson, 32, of Longshore Street, Warrington, who admitted a conspiracy to supply Class B drugs and received 2 years and 7 months. Philip Prendergast, 43, of Crystalton Drive, Ellesmere Port, who admitted a drugs conspiracy, received 20 months. Paul Fazakerley, 30, of Carveron Close, Runcorn, who admitted conspiracy to supply Class A drugs and possession of Class B drugs, received 4 years. Anthony Jones, 31, of Kingsley Walk, Winsford, who pleaded guilty to conspiracy to supply drugs and received 4 years and 8 months. Greg Carter, 27, of Davies Close, Widnes, who admitted possession of cannabis with intent to supply, received 2 years and 6 months. Kieran O'Brien, 38, of Watcroft Close, Runcorn, who admitted conspiracy to supply Class B drugs, received 2 years and 3 months. Tamar O'Brien, 34, of Cranage Close, Runcorn, who pleaded guilty to drugs conspiracies, received 18 months, suspended for 2 years. Martin Salmon, 34, of Exmouth Crescent, Runcorn, who admitted a drugs conspiracy, received 2 years and 3 months. Hayley Murphy, 32, of East Quay, Wapping Quay, Liverpool, who admitted money laundering, was sentenced at a later date. So what are your thoughts about this Merseyside-based drugs gang and their received sentences as a result of drug dealing? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, stay safe.